So we start with a warped perspective, and then we have this kind of little standard where everybody's saying, well, if it sounds good, it is good. Just you have to take that with a grain of salt. So a couple things we really want to think about here. You can get away with almost anything in audio, and the one problem that you end up with is that people succeed with poor quality audio. I get away with all sorts of stuff just because of my beauty. Okay. Yeah. I know you hopefully you that's in jest. Um no, but it works where in some situations my message can be strong enough that my audio quality won't bother most people. But if I'm on the hiring end of it, I'm a buyer and I have to listen to me or you. And let's pretend, just for discussion purposes, our two voices are similar enough. They'd like your delivery better than mine. That's beside the point. But pretend, work with me here, that we are equivalent, but you have lower noise, less mouth noise, your enunciation and pronunciation, and you don't mumble like I do sometimes. You're just cleaner about it than I am. So, if the two voices are similar, who are they going to choose? And there's this really bizarre thing that happens all the time that people do not take into account. They say this: my clients love me. Nobody's ever said anything bad about my audio. Okay. If you're a parent or you have a sibling who is male, okay, so if you're a parent, you have a teenage boy. If you're a sibling, you have a sibling who's a teenage boy. Here's something that I can guarantee you: they stink. Okay, so did I. So did every other male out there. There's this point in life where they we just don't realize that's what's happening as we're maturing and you go through and there's a few changes in there, and there's a period where young men do not know that they smell bad because one, they haven't had to use deodorant their whole life. They didn't need to take a shower once or twice a day. A little kid can get away without all that stuff, but nobody tells them except for their parents. And then, hey, they'll probably have a friend or two that goes, Joe, Don, you smell terrible. If they're a close friend, they might tell them, but not many. On the other hand, I took a little bus trip 6 months ago to my daughter's, couple hours away. I was going to work on her car, so what I did was I took a bus 2 hours to pick up her car, drove it back to my house where I have my tools and the stuff that I was going to use to work with her car for a couple days, and then I drove it back, and then I took the bus back home. So in so doing, I walk into this bus station, and there was a gentleman, a young guy, who had not showered in the last, I don't know, seemed like the last 2 weeks, but whatever. I don't know if it had been a day, a week, a month, it doesn't matter. What I did notice was he did not smell very good. And what did everybody else do in this situation? They just avoided him. I didn't hear a single person say anything negative to this person. We don't want to make him feel bad. It's not my business. If he smells terrible, and he did, but I don't know the circumstances, none of my business. I don't walk up to him and go, wow, you stink. That would be just plain old rude. So you could see, though, but I found it fascinating. I watched before we got on the bus, I watched that where he was sitting, people would come over and sit down. And then it was funny. It would take them about 30 seconds, 60 seconds to realize I need to get up and go get a drink of water. I need to go over and pretend I'm going to find something over here. Let me go look at this map. They just slowly would get up and move someplace else. And it happened 3 or 4 times. I saw people sit close to where he was and get up and move someplace else. And it just stuck in my mind as, oh, I know why they're moving, because I had walked past them and made a decision that I was not going to sit there. These people sat there and then realized, whoops, that really is not ideal. Nobody said a word. And you don't know the jobs you don't get because your audio is not up to a super high standard.